If someone asks you, what's your FTP? Do you have an answer? And more importantly, do you know what that number actually means for your riding? Because here's the thing, FTP is one of the most talked about numbers in cycling. Hey there, my name is Anita and I lead the content production team here at ROUVY. Today I'll explain what FTP really is, why it matters, and how to test it properly, and most importantly, how to actually improve it. Let's get into it. First of all, FTP stands for Functional Threshold Power. In simple terms, it's the highest average power in watts that you can sustain for about 1 hour. Not 5 minutes, not 10 seconds, not until you feel tired. About 1 hour of steady, hard effort. You can think of it as your personal performance ceiling for sustained work. It's the point where you're riding very hard but still in control. You're focused, breathing deep, but you can't talk much. You're not sprinting. Once you get above your FTP, fatigue builds quickly and you won't be able to sustain that effort for long. And the reason this number matters is simple. It becomes the foundation for your training zones. Once you know your FTP, you can structure your workouts precisely. FTP is useful because it personalizes your training. 2 riders might both ride at 250 watts. For one rider, that could be a comfortable endurance pace. For another, that could be a full gas. Without FTP, you're guessing. With FTP, your workouts are scaled to you, your fitness, your engine. It also gives you a clear way to measure progress. If your FTP increases over time, that means your ability to sustain power has improved. And that translates into stronger climbing, faster time trials, and better overall endurance. Now, one quick thing. FTP is not just about ego. It's not about comparing yourself to someone else on the internet. It's a tool, nothing more and nothing less. A common question that newer cyclists ask is, what's a good FTP? The honest answer is, it depends. FTP is often compared relative to body weight in watts per kilogram. This matters especially for climbing. For beginners, something around 2 watts per kilo can be normal. For trained amateur riders, maybe 3 to 4 watts per kilo. Elite riders, much higher. But again, this is not a competition unless you're racing. The only FTP that really matters is your FTP last month versus your FTP now. If that number is moving to the right direction, you're doing something right. So, how do you actually determine what your FTP is? There are a few ways to do it, but one of the easiest and most practical is by doing a ramp test on the ROUVY app. Just open ROUVY, go to Workout section and choose the FTP tab. You'll see a few options, including the ramp test, and the ramp test lite, which is a shorter version that's perfect for newer riders. Ramp tests start easy at first. Then, every minute, the power target increases just a bit and you match it as best as you can. As the minutes tick by, the effort gets harder and harder until you can't hold the target power. At that exact point, the test stops. Once it's done, ROUVY gives you your FTP number based on your performance, and it will update your training zones automatically for future rides and workouts. The ramp tests on ROUVY are a simple way to get a good estimate of your FTP without overthinking it. You don't need to guess your wattage or do tricky calculation. The app does all of that for you, and you can retest whenever you feel your fitness has changed. If you never update your FTP, your workouts will eventually become too easy. Now we get to the part that really matters. Determining your FTP is the step 1. Using it correctly is the step 2. This is where structured training plans come in. When a training plan is built around your FTP, each workout has a purpose. Some sessions target endurance below FTP. Some focus right at your threshold, and others push above it to improve your VO2 max. Instead of just riding hard every day, which a lot of cyclists do, you're training specific systems on specific days. That's how real progress happens, and this is how we also avoid the classic mistake of riding medium, hard, all the time. Not easy enough to recover, not hard enough to improve. Structured training based on your FTP removes that guesswork. So, how do you actually increase your FTP? First, understand that FTP improves when you consistently train near it and slightly above it over time. But the approach depends on your current level. If you're new to structured training, the smartest move is to start with a plan that builds a solid aerobic base. That means steady endurance work, improving efficiency and getting used to riding consistently. This creates the foundation for everything else. If you already have some base fitness, the next step is adding more structured intervals riding around threshold. These are longer efforts where you ride close to your FTP and learn to hold it. These rides are uncomfortable, but they are really effective. After that, more advanced riders benefit from harder interval blocks, sessions that go above FTP. They are shorter, high-intensity efforts that raise your ceiling so your threshold can rise with it. And finally, for experienced cyclists, training can become very specific. Harder sessions, higher intensity, more precision. But this only works if the foundation is already strong. The big picture is simple. Build a base, then raise the ceiling, and then lift the whole system upward. And remember, you don't improve during intervals, you improve when your body adapts afterwards. So always balance stress with recovery. Let's quickly cover a few mistakes. The first is testing too often. Your FTP doesn't jump every week, so give it time. The second mistake is chasing a higher FTP at the expense of everything else. Sprint power, endurance, and skill still matter. The third, which I already mentioned, is ignoring recovery. If you push threshold work 3 or 4 times per week without rest, progress usually stalls. And lastly, comparing your FTP to someone with completely different body weight, training history and genetics, you should focus on your own progress. So, that's FTP. It's not magic, it's not just a number to post online. It's a practical tool that helps you train smarter, measure progress, and choose the right training intensity. If you know your FTP and you use it properly, your training becomes clearer, structured, purposeful, and that's when cycling becomes really rewarding. If this helped you understand FTP better, subscribe to this channel for more cycling training videos. And as we always say at ROUVY, keep going!